Perry's larger-than-life female character for the stage has been captivating audiences and confusing critics. Although Perry, as he would do for the following 20 years, portrayed Madea as a sort of burlesque who wore outrageous outfits and painted the character in broad strokes, the film, as the title implies, tended a little more toward tragedy than broad comedy. The conclusion of Tyler Perry's most recent film, MADEA'S Destination Wedding, which is currently available on Netflix, merits careful examination. The family travels to the Bahamas for Tiffany's wedding to her new fiancé, a rapper named Xavier, in the most recent part of the lengthy series in Madea films. Destination Wedding successfully examines interpersonal relationships, a theme found in Tyler Perry's best films. The film does a fantastic job of establishing a solid ensemble of people who feel heightened and amusing, while still being human and accessible, even in the midst of boisterous and absurd gags. There is actually a lot that happens in the new movie that builds on plots and developments from earlier films, despite having an intriguing setting and many well-known characters. It is crucial to examine the implications of this most recent film in order to comprehend where the Madea cinematic universe might go in the future. When Brian hears Xavier and another woman talking on the stairs near the end of Madea's Destination Wedding, he believes Xavier is cheating on Tiffany. As the entire family gathers, this miscommunication becomes exaggerated, resulting in a heated discussion that keeps Xavier and Tiffany apart. All of this stems from a miscommunication. In reality, Xavier did not want to attend the wedding because she is his estranged mother. The family is on the verge of disintegrating amid all of this conflict. Thankfully, the family is compelled to reunite after Brian takes action and decides to confront Xavier. When Xavier initially shows up toward the start of the movie, he comes across as distant and icy. As the movie progresses, more information about the character is disclosed, even if it is challenging to place too much trust in his relationship with Tiffany. In a scene on the balcony, David acknowledges that he has been too critical of Xavier. Xavier shares his troubled past in this conversation. Despite his past drug sales, he is making an effort to improve. Xavier wants to leave the life he led after witnessing his brother's murder. He wants to do everything in his power to care for Tiffany for the rest of their lives, since he feels emotionally linked to her and supported by her. Given that Perry's personal tales served as the basis for the Madea character, the director is aware that the issues and storylines must be current. The story of Xavier, whose complexity is gradually unveiled throughout the film's duration, effectively conveys a lot of that. Xavier is a young man, and his look makes it simple to make snap judgments about him. Brian thinks about how he handled this too hastily and too harshly. The two characters are still at odds, but when Brian gives Xavier a chance, the two are positioned for a fascinating future together in the series. Another revelation in the film happens when the family overhears Dennis discussing his divorce from Deborah, which was kept a secret from them, over the phone. It is disclosed that Dennis intends to present Tiffany with $1 million at her nuptials. This appears to be the reason Deborah persuaded her daughter to proceed with the wedding in spite of her reservations. According to the family, this is because Deborah wants to keep the money for herself. Thankfully, this is not the case, and it is evident from their chats that Deborah simply has her children's best interests in mind. Although Deborah is not always a wonderful mother and has flaws in her character, she is making an effort. The bill that Brian gets at the end of the film is surprisingly thick. It's as long as a phone book. Among other expenses, it is disclosed that Madea spent $14,000 on food while David spent $9,000 and $43,000 at the casino. The next scene is a flashback montage with the family charging everything to the hotel during their visit. The trip has a high cost, and every family member has made an excessive contribution to the hotel. This creates an unaffordable expense that is played for laughs, especially when you take into account Brian's financial worries and strains throughout the movie, including paying for the rooms themselves. Brian faints in the lobby from exhaustion. In a stunning scene, Xavier and Tiffany ultimately tie the wedding as the film comes to a close. Tiffany's development throughout the franchise's tales suggests that their characters may now have a future. Through these tales, Madea's family tree has grown even more, and now her grandniece has added yet another interesting relative. Xavier and Tiffany may be the parents of a whole new generation in the future. Given their youth and romantic relationship, it wouldn't be shocking if they began a family of their own to concentrate on in the following chapter. The events in Madea's Destination Wedding will undoubtedly be continued in any subsequent Madea films.